Greetings and welcome back, Chaos-Ensuers, to a bit of an overview episode of World of Warships. You guys have requested that you want to see the tech tree, so we're going to go over that. So right now, let's start with we'll start with the easiest one. The Tier 3 Premium Aurora for the Russian. It costs 1,500 piasters. Piaster? I'm saying piasters, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'll kind of just give you a quick look at the ship. I'm not going to go too in-depth, only because I don't know really what I'm talking about. I'm not too familiar with ships and what is exactly good on them, as well as what's super good, as well as these. I can show you kind of the maximum damage for these shells, how far the firing range is, what the HP is for combat compatibility, and the speed. So that's that. We'll go back and we'll go for the Americans. And we'll go over the two premium ships, which is right now the Tier 2 Albany. I'll kind of give you a little overview of that ship, if I can. Zoom out a little bit more. And some stuff loads in at last minute, which is always funny. We have its gun, which is right here. Our hull. Our gunfire control system. As well as our propulsion. And as always, if there's anything that I missed with this video, feel free to comment. I'll add it in as an annotation wherever it seems to be fit. We'll now go over the Tier 7 Atlanta Cruiser, which this thing looks really cool. I like the newer looks of the ships. The older ships look cool, but when you just get into the newer ships, they just look so neat of how they're constructed, especially when all the guns that are put on the ships as well. So there's that. As well as I don't have the premium hangar, quote unquote. This is just the regular hangar. I don't have premium as of right now because piasters cannot be purchased. So we'll go over its main battery, its hull, gunfire control system, torpedo tubes, and its engine. So now let's go over some of the Tier 10s. So, because that's just what everyone wants to see. So we have the Essex Tier 10 aircraft carrier. Look at this thing. It is so cool. I like this so much. It just looks so neat. I love everything popping in at the last minute. Why can't I? Oh, there we go. That's really weird. It wouldn't let me right-click a plane. Like, all the planes that are on the... Like, just the size of these planes versus the size of this boat is just massive. I can't believe that. It's just so neat. So we can go over here. We'll go for the bottom flight control one, which is able to have 2 squadrons of torpedo bombers and 3 squadrons of regular bombers, as well as its hull, which has 56,000 HP, the type of planes that you can put on them, the Bearcats and Sky Raiders for Douglases, and the Helldriver Curtis's for its aircraft, as well as its engine. 150,000 horsepower, my bad, not 15. Now for the Tier 10 Cruiser, I'm not sure how to pronounce this. I'm going to get heck for this, pronouncing it. The Moines? The Des Moines? Is that? I'm not entirely sure. I apologize. This is the Tier 10 Cruiser in all of its glory. Look at those guns. Just this massive thing. And all these guns on the side, too. That's so neat. I hope they get people, which they didn't do in Warplane. I think they did people in Warplanes in the cockpit, but maybe they'd have little people sitting out here. That would be pretty neat to see, and them running around on the deck, but I think that might be too much. So here's its main battery, as well as its hull. A whopping 50,000 HP for this cruiser. Firing range of 15 kilometers, and its engine pumping out a maximum speed of 33 knots. Now for the Tier 10 American destroyer, that thing looks cool. It just looks so compact. Oh, I'm sorry, I read it wrong. I thought it had 7 torpedoes, but I'm reading the thing up here incorrectly. So check out this destroyer right here. The gearing looks so neat. I like how it looks streamlined with the smokestacks kind of going backwards that way. That's my favorite look of a ship. So we have its main battery, 20 rounds a minute, as well as its gunfire and control system of up to 11.1 kilometers. Its hull at only a mere 19,000 HP. As well as how many torpedoes do you get? Its maximum damage possible is 17,000 per torpedo hit. Or is that in total? Not sure. 0.4 rounds a minute, which is, ooh, that's a long reload time. And its engine power of a 37 knots. Oh, look at the little spinning radar on top. That's even cooler. I like that. So now let's head over to the Japanese tech tree, where we have the Tier 4 Cruiser, the Yubari. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Don't quote me on it. Look at this giant smokestack in the back. That's awesome. That is the coolest thing ever. That's so neat. Coming in at a whopping 2,250 piasters with a main battery of 9.2 rounds per minute. The hull with a 18,300 HP mark. Its gunfire control system able to fire up to 12.8 kilometers. Type 8 torpedo tubes. I don't know what that means, but you can fire 1 rounds a minute, so decent reload time. 63 knots. Wow, the torpedoes go 63 knots. That's fast. As well as its engine type has a maximum speed of 35 knots. Now, the second premium cruiser. Oh wait, that's a cruiser, by the way. That's not a destroyer. So that's even better when it has torpedoes on it, which is awesome. Now this thing, look at the torpedo tubes on the side. Look at that. 4, 8, 12, 20 torpedoes. Just your ship is dead. Dead at that point. So we're checking out its main battery, 10 rounds a minute, which isn't too bad. Its hull, it has 25,000 HP. For a Tier 8, it's a little low. You're going to have to stay out of sight, out of mind. I'm thinking, I'm just taking a guess. I'm kind of using my inferences on compared to the other HPs of the other ships. Its firing range of up to 13.8 kilometers, 17,000 maximum damage, 62 knot torpedo speed, and itself can go up to 36 knots of a top speed. So now it costs 11,750 piasters, which is a decent price for a tier, but it's a Tier 8, so you'll be getting up there. So now let's go to the Tier 10. So I'm gonna save this guy for last. So the Tier 10 Shimakaze destroyer. Look at that. It looks so neat. I love how it zooms in too. So nice looking. I love the guns in the back too. The guns in the back just look so neat. I'm liking that a lot. Torpedo tubes all in the center. I think it's about 15, if I can count correctly. Yes, 15. So its main battery, 127mm/50 Type 3. Its hull, it only has 17,000 HP. Your gunfire control system can fire up to 9.8 kilometers. And torpedoes look like they can have up to 23,000 maximum damage, 67 knots, as well as your own engine speed maximum is 40 knots for this destroyer. So let's check out the cruiser, the Senjo. This thing looks cool too. Wow, this is awesome. I didn't look at this one before. This one looks neat. I'm liking this. Love everything loading in at last minute. It's got a plane on the back. That's so cool. You just launch a little plane. Look at that. It just looks nasty. So we're dealing with a 203mm/50 Type 18 gun with 4.6 rounds a minute. Its hull whopping in at 39,000 HP with 4 torpedo tubes, 4 main turrets, 6 secondary guns, and 46 AA mounts, or anti-air. Its fire range of up to 16 kilometers, as well as it has torpedo tubes that can do up to 76 knots. 0.3 rounds a minute. A little slow, but you have torpedoes, and you're able to go up to a maximum speed of 31 knots with its 152,000 horsepower engine. That's pretty awesome. And now, the Tier 10 battleship, the Yamato. I have words for this, and it's freaking awesome. And it's huge. It's the biggest thing I've ever seen. Look, it has 2 spots for planes to go on the back. Just look at this thing. It's massive. Absolutely massive. The Zeppelin shadow in the back just has nothing compared to this ship. It could land on this ship, and the ship's like, lol, okay, don't care. This thing is awesome. Its main battery of 460mm/45 Type 94 guns allow you to fire 1.7 rounds per minute with 5,000 maximum HE damage and 15,000 maximum AP damage. Its hull a whopping 97,000 HP, along with 3 main turrets, 14 secondary guns, and 58 anti-air mounts, with its gunfire control system firing up to 26 kilometers. Unbelievable. As well as having a maximum speed of 28 knots. That's cool. That's insanely cool. And it's also to note that you completely skip the Tier 9 battleship and it just goes right to Tier 10, So joining this path is a little bit faster because you don't even have to go through Tier 9. Its research cost, though, is 140,000. Yeah, that's not too bad. Double going from here, considering the fact that this is only 84 and then going to 126. So it isn't too bad. So those are all the major ships that are in this game, the tier 10s and the premium ships. If you'd like to see anything else more in specific, please let me know in the comments. I'll make a short little video about them if you'd like to see them, and I'll make annotations either at the end or in points in the video, and I'll include links in the bottom. But that'll be it for this kind of just brief tech tree overview of the higher tier ships, and I'll see you guys on something else.